The Senate will come to order. I ask everyone present to please rise and recite with me the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. With us this morning to offer an invocation is the Reverend Peter G. Young from Mother Teresa Community here in Albany.
Thank you. Let us pray as we gather on again another cold day. We, however, have a future Hall of Famer here, and we're therefore optimistically thinking about a warm weather day coming up. We ask you, O God, for a former member of our Senate fellowship, for all his dedication on behalf of New York State citizens, he'll be enjoying God's reward. May we pray for George Honorato and for all of our past and present senators for their efforts to their constituents for the better state and operation of our great work. Amen.
Reading of the Journal.
In the Senate, Wednesday, February 25th, the Senate met pursuant to adjournment. The Journal of Tuesday, February 24th, was read and approved on motion, Senate adjourned.
Without objection, the Journal stands approved as read. Presentation of petitions, messages from the Assembly, messages from the Governor, reports of standing committees, reports of select committees, communications and reports from state officers, motions and resolutions. Senator Marcelino.
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. Can we adopt the resolution calendar with the exception of resolutions 589 and 622?
All in favor of adopting the resolution calendar with the exceptions of resolutions numbers 589 and 622 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The resolution calendar is adopted. Senator Marcelino.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can we at this time take up resolution 622 by Senator Murphy, have the resolution read in its entirety, and then call on Senator Murphy to speak on the resolution.
Secretary will read.
Legislative Resolution number 622 by Senator Murphy, honoring Mount Pleasant police officer Daniel Franco for saving the life of a 23-year-old male who had overdosed. Whereas, the quality and sanctity of community life are cherished values, worthy of safeguarding, and this legislative body is moved to honor those individuals who serve to preserve and protect such values, lauding particularly their unwavering courage and dedication in the daily performance of their duties. And whereas it is the custom of this legislative body to recognize the caring concern and heroic acts of those exemplary police officers who take prompt and appropriate action in emergency situations, and in doing so help others to avert life-threatening danger. And whereas, attendant to such concern and in full accord with its long-standing traditions, this legislative body is justly proud to honor Mount Pleasant police officer Daniel Franco for saving the life of a 23-year-old male who had overdosed on heroin. And whereas, a graduate of Westlake High School, Daniel Franco received his law enforcement training at the Westchester County Zone 3 Police Academy in Valhalla, New York. And whereas in January 2008, police officer Daniel Franco began his law enforcement career with the Mount Pleasant Police Department and is currently assigned to its patrol division. And whereas on January 5, 2015, police officer Daniel Franco responded to a call of an unresponsive male at his home in Valhalla, New York. He found the young man not breathing and losing color in his face, which due to his training he recognized as signs of a heroin overdose. And whereas police officer Daniel Franco took immediate action, locating the Narcan kit in his patrol car and administering 2 milligrams of naloxone, due to his quick and astute actions, within seconds after the drug was administered, the young man began breathing and regaining color in his face. And whereas, after 2 more milligrams of naloxone were administered by a paramedic, the 23-year-old young man opened his eyes and soon began communicating with the officers. And whereas, even though the situation could have been a dire one, police officer Daniel Franco's heroic efforts helped save the life of the young man. He is truly an inspiration to his fellow officers for his courage and decisive action. And whereas it is the sense of this legislative body that those dedicated police officers who unselfishly devote their lives to the preservation of order and the protection of others are worthy and due full praise of their commitment and noble endeavors. And whereas police officer Daniel Franco, through his spontaneous and heroic actions, demonstrated his character and his compassion for the welfare of others, personifying by virtue of his actions the collective concern public servants across the community of the state of New York who respond when others are in need. Now therefore be it resolved that this legislative body pauses its deliberations to honor Mount Pleasant Police Officer Daniel Franco for saving the life of a 23-year-old male who had overdosed, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution suitably engrossed be transmitted to Mount Pleasant Police Officer Daniel Franco.
Senator Murphy on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is my distinct honor and privilege to recognize a hero from my district and the community of Mount Pleasant. Today, the sad reality is that the heroin epidemic continues to spread throughout our state. And as the Vice Chair of the New York State Task Force on Heroin and Opioid Abuse, it is my responsibility and our responsibility to protect our communities and shed the light on this incredible danger. One way we can raise awareness on this issue is by acknowledging life-saving actions of our law enforcement and our first responders. And here today, I would ask to stand is Chief Oliva from the Mount Pleasant Police Department, and Officer Franco is here today, and the heroes. I believe our state should take time to recognize and thank you. Thank you very much. On January 5th, 2015, Officer Franco responded to a call of an unresponsive male in a house in Valhalla where he found a young man literally blue. Using his training in the Narcan, literally saved this kid's life and brought him back to life. Senator Franco, I thank you on behalf of myself as your state senator and New York State Senate. Thank you. And Chief Oliva, thank you for coming up and allowing us to present this to him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Murphy. We certainly welcome our special guests here to the chamber and hope that you enjoy your day here at the state capitol. The question is on the resolution. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted. Senator Marcelino.
Mr. President, since we are awaiting the arrival of a guest, which would be relevant to another action, can we move to the reading of the non-controversial calendar?
The Secretary will read.
Calendar number 72 by Senator Ravella, Senate Print 712, an act to amend the corrections law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act should take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, D. Francisco, Klein, Libous, Skelos, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 49.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 99 by Senator Lavelle, Senate Print 22, an act to amend the corrections law.
Read the last section.
Section 3, this act should take effect on the 1st of July.
Call the roll.
Adabo, D. Francisco, Klein, Libous, Skelos, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 49.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 100 by Senator Klein, Senate Print 1520, an act to amend the executive law.
Read the last section.
Section 4, this act should take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, D. Francisco, Klein, Libous, Skelos, Stewart, Cousins, Young.
Senator Klein to explain his vote.
Myself, Senator Marty Golden, and Senator Diane Savino released a report, which is certainly important in light of what we're finding day after day, year after year, that unfortunately we need to protect our young people from dangerous sexual predators. What we found was that presently there's dangerous sexual predators, level 2 and 3 sexual predators that actually committed heinous crimes against children living near universal pre-K programs. As a matter of fact, my office found that 13 sex offenders are presently residing within 1,000 feet of UPK programs because these programs were not affiliated with an actual grade school. The most of these sexual predators lived in Brooklyn, a total of 6. We also found that 5 sex offenders living near pre-Ks and kindergartens that do not partner with public schools. You know, clearly the law that we presently have is clear. A dangerous sexual predator can't live within 1,000 feet of a school. The problem is with the proliferation of all of our wonderful UPK programs, especially in the city of New York, any UPK program that's not affiliated with a public school, a standalone site, is not protected. So what we're doing right now is allowing ticking time bombs to have access to our kids, and that needs to stop. I think we have taken this issue very seriously, especially in this House. We've already passed a lot of different bills that I think not necessarily overall are Megan's Law in New York, but really I think make some changes, which is something that's very important. It's clear we still have to protect our young people from dangerous sexual predators. The facts bear me out by stating that when you look at the facts here in New York, according to Division of Criminal Justice Services, a dangerous sexual predator, upon their release from prison, if you look over an 8-year period, is 48% more likely to commit the same or similar crime. So this is one of the only crimes that seems to exacerbate with age. So I think it's important that we continue to monitor them and continue to protect our children to make sure they're not in harm's way. So, of course, I vote yes on this important piece of legislation, Mr. President.
Senator Klein to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Sanders to explain his vote.
It's sad that we have to have common sense. We have to make laws about what seems to be common sense. But I'm very grateful that the sponsors have put these bills together. I'm grateful that they have. In my own district, I had a sexual predator living in a homeless shelter that had children and women, and you would think that there would be some type of rule or some common sense that would stop people from even saying this is a place where we should put such a person, but that didn't happen. So these laws that we're coming up with are actually very useful, and in my own district I have found the usefulness. So I certainly want to applaud the sponsors for coming up with these. Thank you very much.
Senator Sanders to be recorded in the affirmative. Announce the results.
Ayes 54.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 101 by Senator Golden, Senate Print 2269, Act to amend the Corrections Law.
Read the last section.
Section 4 of the statute take effect on the 1st of November.
Call the roll.
Adabo, D. Francisco, Klein, Libous, Skelos, Stewart, Cousins, Young.
Senator Rivera to explain his vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. I stand, as I've done in years past, to make it a distinction. We are voting on many sex offender bills today, and much like, certainly I thank Senator Klein for introducing the bill that we just passed a second ago, and I concur both with his comments and the comments of Senator Sanders. The issue that I've made in the past, and I want to make sure that it's on the record, there are the distinction about the bill that we just passed, Senator Klein bill, is very specific about level 2 and 3 sex offenders. And I certainly think I share the concerns of everyone in this House that we need to make sure that people are protected from folks that are predators. However, when the distinction is not made, then the conditions are very broad. And in this particular instance, the limitation that is trying to be established here, I believe if it had the distinction of level 2s and 3s, I would be voting in the affirmative. I believe that in this particular instance, it is too broad a determination, and so I would be voting in the negative. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Rivera to be recorded in the negative. Senator Golden to explain his vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. As Senator Klein has said in the report that was out there, the number just in Brooklyn was about 6. Those are the ones that we could track down, that we knew that were on a registry that didn't re-register. That doesn't account for untold numbers that are throughout our city today and throughout our state that are living near our pre-Ks. These pre-Ks are popping up left and right and in our communities. And it's unfortunate we're not able to track these individuals any better than we have been able to in the past. I think the bill that I have protects our children from becoming prey to sex offenders is a priority. I believe this bill further protects our children from sex offenders, from prohibiting all sex offenders to living within 1,000 feet of a school. And this includes sex offenders who offended in other states. You can move in from Pennsylvania, New Jersey. You can move next door and not register. It's crazy. We need to put a set of real legislation out there that we're doing today with Senator Vella, Senator Laval, Senator Klein, Senator myself, Senator Murphy, Senator Ort, Senator Lanza, Senator Vendetto, Senator Seward, and other senators, and protecting our children and keeping our children safe across our city and our state. It's a priority. That's what we're elected to do, is to keep our families and our children safe. And this is a good bill, and many of the bills here today, I hope, do become law, because they would help protect those children. I want to thank Senator Klein for the Majority Leader, Senator Dean Skelos, for putting that study together and coming up with facts and some real facts that we could look at and actually view and actually be able to come up with some good legislation that will in fact protect our children and our families. I vote yes. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Golden to be recorded in the affirmative. Announce the results.
Ayes 55, ayes 54, nays 1. Senator Rivera recorded in the negative.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 102 by Senator Murphy, Senate Print 2950, enact amend the corrections law.
Read the last section.
Section 2 of the statute take effect on the 180th day.
Call the roll.
Adabo, D. Francisco, Klein, Libous, Skelos, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 55.
The bill is passed. Senator Marcelino.
Mr. President, and as is our tradition in this House, we acknowledge senators who have passed their first bill. This would be Senator Murphy's first bill passed in this chamber.
Calendar number 103 by Senator Ort, Senate Print 2981, enact amend the corrections law.
Read the last section.
Section 2 of the statute take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, D. Francisco, Klein, Libous, Skelos, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 55.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 106 by Senator Lanza, Senate Print 3811, enact amend the corrections law.
Read the last section.
Section 2 of the statute take effect on the 90th day.
Call the roll.
Adabo, D. Francisco, Klein, Libous, Skelos, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 55.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 107 by Senator Venditto, Senate Print 3925, enact amend the corrections law.
Read the last section.
Section 3 of the statute take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, D. Francisco, Klein, Libous, Skelos, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 54, nays 1. Senator Rivera recorded in the negative.
Senator Venditto to explain his vote.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. As we know, and as many people around the state know, the State Court of Appeals recently ruled unanimously that only the state has the power to determine where sex offenders can and cannot live. This invalidated, effectively, about 130 local laws that were more restrictive than the state law and what it said on the subject. Many residents spoke out in a loud, clear voice. I know they certainly did in Nassau and Suffolk counties. I'm sure they have around the state in opposition to the decision that was made. Today, we are responding with very swift and very effective legal action. It is the legislative intent of the law to empower local municipalities to decide where sex offenders can and cannot live. And so we leave it in the hands of our cities, our towns, our counties, our villages, their legislatures, their executives, to be as restrictive as need be, to work with the residents of the jurisdictions that they represent, and to come up with sensible laws in drawing the lines. You know, whatever our politics may be, and it's said in so many different ways today, we can all agree that there is no more valuable commodity, no more precious gift than our children here in New York State. We hear it said, we say it ourselves around our districts every day, the future is only as bright as our young people. Today we take an important step in securing that future and doing the right thing as far as the safety and protection of our children is concerned. As a new senator, more importantly, as a new father, I'm very thankful and proud to be sponsoring this legislation. I'll be very happy when it's signed into law. And thank you all for a few moments of your time. Mr. President, I vote in the affirmative.
Senator Venditto to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Serino to explain her vote.
As some of you know, before being elected to the state Senate, I served as both a town board member and as a county legislator. Ensuring that our localities have the tools they need to meet the unique needs of their communities will remain a priority to me. When it comes to keeping our children safe from predators of any kind, it is especially critical that we empower our municipalities. This bill guarantees that our localities have the power to do all that they can to protect the most vulnerable members of our communities. I am proud to co-sponsor this critical piece of legislation. I vote yes. Thank you.
Senator Serino to be recorded in the affirmative. Announce the results.
Ayes 54, nays 1. Senator Rivera recorded in the negative.
The bill is passed. Senator Marcelino.
Again, in accordance with the tradition of our House, so we acknowledge the passage of Senator Venditto's first bill.
Secretary will read.
Calendar number 108 by Senator Seward, Senate Print 3926, enact amend the penal law.
Read the last section.
Section 3, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, De Francisco, Klein, Libous, Skelos, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 55.
The bill is passed. Senator Marcelino, that completes the non-controversial reading of the calendar.
Thank you. While we are still awaiting our special guest, I think Senator Peralta, who has the resolution, would like to obviously have our guest hear the resolution before we read it. So if we could stand at ease until our guest gets here.
The Senate will stand at ease temporarily.
We have an announcement that the Health Committee will meet today in room 124 at 12 p.m.
The Senate Committee on Health will meet at 12 noon in room 124 of the Capitol.
Can somebody get Peralta? I know, but he's talking to Roback. That can take a...
Senator Marcelino.
May we have resolution 589 by Senator Peralta read in its entirety, please.
The Secretary will read.
Legislative Resolution Number 589 by Senator Peralta and Espaillat, celebrating the many contributions and legacies of Dominican Americans in conjunction with the observance of Dominican Heritage Month and paying tribute to Pedro Martinez.
Senator Marcelino.
I apologize for interrupting the reading, but can we have some order in the House, please? There's background noise. Can staff just take places? Can people who are visiting keep it down, please?
Conversation should be taken out of the Senate chamber. Secretary will continue to read.
Whereas, it is the sense of this legislative body, in keeping with its time-honored traditions, to recognize and pay tribute to those who foster ethnic pride and enhance the profile of cultural diversity, which strengthens the fabric of communities of New York State. And whereas, the citizens of this great Empire State are proud to celebrate the contributions of Dominican Americans to New York State's unique heritage. And whereas, attendant to such concern and in full accord with its long-standing traditions, this legislative body is justly proud to celebrate the many contributions and legacies to Dominican Americans in conjunction with the observance of Dominican Heritage Month and to pay tribute to Pedro Martinez. And whereas, in February 2015, Dominican communities across the state of New York will join in celebrating Dominican Heritage Month by recognizing the many contributions and legacies which are attributed to these fine Dominican Americans. And whereas the following dates and events are of great significance and served as a distinct reminder of the rich heritage celebrated in Dominican communities. Monday, January 26, 2015 marks the 202nd anniversary of the birth of Patriarch Juan Pablo Duarte. And Friday, February 27, 2015 is the 171st anniversary of the independence of the Dominican Republic. And whereas it is duly fitting that all New Yorkers join in these important celebrations of one of our state's most vibrant communities. This much-anticipated observance and its accompanying activities will foster greater appreciation for Dominican culture and serve to promote the spirit of cooperation that is characteristic of all citizens of New York State. And whereas it is the custom of this legislative body to recognize and pay tribute to those esteemed individuals who distinguish themselves through exceptional performance, outstanding achievements, and peerless commitment to excellence. And whereas this legislative body is justly proud to congratulate Pedro Martinez upon the occasion of his election to the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York on January 6, 2015. He will be officially inducted on Sunday, January 26, 2015. And whereas Pedro Jaime Martinez was born in Mano Guayabo, Dominican Republic in 1971, the fifth of 6 siblings living in a palm wood house with a tin roof. As a child, he learned the game of baseball using broomsticks and tree branches for bats. And whereas, despite the humble circumstances and diminutive frame, Pedro Martinez's superlative work ethic and transcendent talent caught the eye of traveling professional scouts, and subsequently in 1988, he was signed by the Los Angeles Dodgers. And whereas Pedro Martinez is recognized for being one of the most dominant pitchers of his era, and whereas during his spectacular 18-season career, Pedro Martinez won 219 games, 3 Cy Young Awards, and struck out 3,154 batters. He led the league in ERA 5 times and in strikeouts 3 times. Furthermore, his winning percentage is 6th highest of all time for the first for pitchers after 1950. And whereas in the year 2000, when there were more runs scored than any other season in baseball history, Pedro Martinez managed an astounding 1.74 ERA. And whereas known for his sparkling intellect, unique wit, and engaging personality, Pedro Martinez's career had brought pride, pleasure, and joy to the countless millions. And whereas this legislative body is proud to honor Pedro Martinez for his extraordinary athletic accomplishments, which are a tribute to his skill, dedication, and commitment. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this legislative body pauses deliberations to celebrate the many contributions and legacies of Dominican Americans in conjunction with the observance of Dominican Heritage Month, and to pay tribute to Pedro Martinez. And be it further resolved that copies of this resolution suitably engrossed be transmitted to Ambassador Anibal de Castro, Consul General Maximo Corsino in the Dominican Republic in New York, and Pedro Martinez.
Senator Peralta on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is truly an honor to have the great Pedro Martinez here. In the immortal words of a Saturday Night Live parody character, Chico Escuela, that said, baseball has been very, very, very good to me. But in this case, we can say that Pedro has been very, very, very good to baseball. He's been very good to not only baseball, but to the Dominican Republic. He's been good to all of us for honoring us with his presence today here. Thank you so much, Pedro. Bienvenido, Pedro Martinez. Welcome to the Capitol. It is truly an honor to have you here with us today as we celebrate Dominican Heritage Month in our great Empire State. As a Dominican, I am proud to stand here with you today. And as you know, Dominicans love 2 things, baseball and politics. And tomorrow we celebrate the 171st anniversary of the independence of the Dominican Republic. For you, Pedro, it has been a long trip from Mano Guayabo, a journey that will reach its highest altitude when you are inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in July. You will be the 2nd Dominican to enter such a prestigious group, following the footsteps of Juan Marichal, right now, who's the only Dominican Hall of Famer, but in July there will be 2. You are one of the best pitchers our national pastime has ever had. Growing up in Mano Guayabo, you learned our amazing game of baseball using broomsticks and tree branches for bats. You probably also made gloves out of milk cartons, played with baseballs made out of socks, or hardened lemons. For us Dominicans, I understand that. Your life became an inspiration to countless kids who dream of one day becoming Pedro Martinez. You had an outstanding career, a career spanning 18 seasons playing at the highest level, winning 219 games, 3 Cy Young Awards, and striking out 3,154 batters. But who's counting? Your engaging personality brought pride and joy to millions. You're truly an example for all of us, on and off the field. And playing in New York and Queens, you understood what New York fans were all about. I want to read a couple of quotes that you were quoted in throughout your career. The first one is, I actually realized that I was somebody important because I caught the attention of 60,000 people, plus the whole world watching a guy that if you reverse time back 15 years ago, I was sitting under a mango tree without 50 cents to pay for a bus. That was one of the quotes, but you are very special today. Second quote, I doubt that I will get involved with politics. That's something I don't have in me. We're very glad that you did not get involved in politics, because if you dominated politics the way you dominated baseball, some of us would have a lot to worry about. And third, some of the things that I have done are really, really special. You are special, Pedro Martinez. Thank you so much for what you have shown us on the field and off the field. We are so proud to present to you this resolution as we congratulate you, Pedro Martinez, on your election to the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Congratulations, felicidades, Pedro, te lo merece.
Thank you, Senator Peralta. Senator Espaillat on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to recognize a great Dominican American, a great Dominican, someone that now will join the high-kicking Dominican dandy in Cooperstown, Juan Marichal. For over 3 decades, Juan Marichal, who pitched for the San Francisco Giants, stood alone as the only Dominican in the Hall of Fame. And who could have thought that with the likes of the Alou brothers, the great Rico Cardi, the great Manny Mota, and so many others, there will be only one for 30 years. But he will no longer be alone, because now he will be there with the great Pedro el Grande. That's why they call him Pedro el Grande, Pedro the Great. And who could forget, and it hurts me deeply to say, because I am a pinstripe guy, but who can forget the day he struck out 17 Yankees? Who can forget that, Pedro? But I'm also a Liceísta, and that's his team in Winter Baseball in the Dominican Republic, where he did his own thing over there, tremendous. But we can never forget the day he struck out 17 Yankees. And Pedro is a major impact on baseball and sports. I'm glad to say here today in Albany, Pedro, today, that today you are our daddy. And so, some of the things that he's done. An eight-time All-Star player, All-Star Game baseball player. Obviously, a World Series champion 2004. Who can forget that? This is very painful, Pedro, but I love you. A 3-time Cy Young Award winner. 3 times. The Triple Crown in pitching. For you to win the Triple Crown in pitching is accomplished only by those pitchers who lead the league in wins, strikeouts, and earned runs. So 3 times, Pedro el Grande won the Triple Crown of pitching. And so he was also many times an MVP. He won an American League champion. And of course, for 5 years, 5 seasons, he won the ERA, the Earned Run Average Championship for his league, as well as 3 times strikeout king. Now, Pedro is known for his splitter, his fastball, but if you got a little bit nutty with you, he would also pitch tight on you. And so Pedro is a guy that was respected in the mound. You know, the great Juan Marichal and Sandy Koufax and Bob Gibson, they pitched with a high mound, and they were high-kicking pitchers. The mound was lowered, so it became more difficult for pitchers to dominate the game. But even with a lower mound, Pedro El Grande dominated baseball. And so we're happy to have him here celebrating Dominican Heritage Month. Tomorrow, the 27th, is the anniversary of Dominican independence. Pedro is a natural hero in the Dominican Republic. After he was approved to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, thousands of people went to the streets to receive him at the airport. And a major concert with hundreds and thousands of people were there to share that special moment with him and his lovely wife, Carolina, who's here with us today as well. So we are happy to have you here. You are a special person anywhere in New York or in Massachusetts. And Mr. President, let me just finish by saying these words in Spanish, because I think that they are emblematic of the way we all feel today, those of us that had the privilege to be born in that small island called the Dominican Republic. Qué linda en el tope está, dominicana bandera. Quien te viera, más arriba, mucho más.
Thank you, Senator Espaillat. Senator Seward, on the resolution.
Mr. President, I'm delighted to rise to extend my support for the resolution honoring the Dominican Heritage Month, and also, of course, our special guest, Pedro Martinez. You know, I stand before you to do so because a couple of reasons. First of all, my son-in-law is from the Dominican Republic, and so my two granddaughters, little granddaughters, are half Dominican. And I visited the Dominican Republic, and I've always been struck by certainly the pride that the Dominican people have in their independence and in their democracy in the DR. It's a wonderful country and very hospitable country and very hospitable people. But also I rise as a resident of the Cooperstown area and very, very proud to represent the National Baseball Hall of Fame here in the State Senate. And I want to, on behalf of all of the residents in that part of the state and the Cooperstown area, Pedro, we want to welcome you to the Baseball Hall of Fame, where you will be enshrined. Your plaque will be enshrined in the last weekend in July. And I stand to applaud you here today, and I will be there in July to applaud your induction to the National Baseball Hall of Fame. You know, Juan Marichal has been mentioned. The other Dominican, the Dominican dandy, he's in the Hall of Fame, returns every year for the induction ceremony, and it's great to see him in Cooperstown. The fans love him, and I know, Pedro, you will, along with Juan, carry on that great tradition of coming back to Cooperstown every year to honor baseball and to honor baseball legends. It's great for the community, it's great for baseball, it's great for all baseball fans. So I rise in full support of this resolution. This is a great day, certainly for the Dominican community here in New York State. It's a great day for the Baseball Hall of Fame to be able to count you among its esteemed members. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Senator Seward. Senator Gianaris, on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also rise to welcome our esteemed guests to the chambers today. I understand there were some fans outside with Red Sox paraphernalia waiting for him. I don't know what they were doing in the state of New York, but apparently there are some. And as you would expect, the Yankee fans had a strong reaction to that. But I wanted to speak as a representative from Queens on behalf of all the Mets fans in New York State to say thank you. Thank you for the great joy that you brought us for the years you were pitching for the Mets. And hopefully they'll get back to the status they had when you were playing for them soon enough. Muchísimas gracias, Pedro Martinez.
Thank you, Senator Gianaris. Senator Diaz on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me wait till they finish so they could listen to. Yo soy malo, ¿verdad? Yo soy malo. Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, today I join my colleagues, Senator Adriano Espaillat and Senator Jose Peralta, in co-sponsoring this great, outstanding, marvelous, brilliant, and wonderful resolution honoring Mr. Pedro Jaime Martinez. Mr. Pedro Jaime Martinez started his career in the Major League with Los Angeles Dodgers and played with the Expos of Montreal, the Boston Red Sox, the New York Mets, and the Philadelphia Phillies. Today, this chamber ha tirado la casa por la ventana, meaning this chamber has thrown the house through the window. Today, as a proud Puerto Rican, I am honored to join not only my colleagues, Senator Espaillat and Senator Peralta, but I am also proud to join other Dominican elected officials in the state and the city, such as Guillermo Linares and Victor Pichardo in the State Assembly, Fernando Cabrera, Rafael Espinal, Julissa Ferreras, and Irani Rodriguez in the City Council, and Antonio Reynoso also in the City Council. Today is a day to remember. Today is a day for the history book, and today is a day for every Hispanic to feel proud and grateful for all the achievements obtained by Mr. Pedro Jaime Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Martinez, for accepting Senator Espaillat's invitation to be in this chamber. And thank you, Senator Espaillat and Senator Peralta, for allowing us to be part of this unique day that even one of my staff, Espaillat, a Dominican, Angel Gao, came all the way from the city of New York to be witness of this event. I want to conclude by saying in Spanish, Quisqueyanos valientes alcemos, nuestro canto con viva emoción, y del mundo a la faz ostentemos nuestro invicto y glorioso pendón. Salve el pueblo que intrépido y fuerte a la guerra a morir se lanzó, cuando en bélico reto de muerte sus cadenas de esclavos rompió. Ningún pueblo ser libre merece si es esclavo indolente y servil. Si en su pecho la llama no crece, que templó el heroísmo viril. Más Quisqueya, la indomita y brava, siempre altiva la frente alzará, que si fuere 1000 veces esclava, otras tantas ser libre sabrá. Dios bendiga a tu pueblo.
Thank you, Senator Diaz. Senator Serrano on the resolution.
President, how do I possibly follow that? That was wonderful, Senator Diaz. But I just wanted to lend my voice to congratulating and honoring the Dominican community as a whole and thank the sponsors of this resolution for once again giving us the opportunity to say thank you for all the significant contributions that the Dominican community has made to our specific districts, but to the entire state and nation as a whole. And what a special treat to have Pedro Martinez here today. As many of you know, I represent the South Bronx, I represent Yankee Stadium, and I'm a diehard Yankee fan. And I always remember whenever Boston was coming to play at the stadium, there was this buzz in the neighborhood hours before the game started. There was this excitement. And whether you were a Boston fan or a Yankee fan, it didn't matter, because it was this party atmosphere along 161st Street, and I live right up the block from the stadium. So when a big play happens on TV and I'm watching a game, I turn down the volume, I hear out the window the cheering. So that's how close I am to the stadium. But especially when Pedro Martinez was pitching, there was this excitement. There was what's going to happen. And whether you're a Yankee fan or not, you have to respect greatness. And even though I'm forever will be a Yankee fan, I respect greatly great baseball players. And you, Pedro Martinez, respected the sport, you respected your craft, and you really uplifted baseball for generations to come. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Senator Serrano. Seeing no other senators wishing to be heard, the question is on the resolution. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted. Senator Marcelino.
Yes, Mr. President.
Senator Marcelino.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I am sure Pedro will be here to take pictures with those who wish to do that, so that'll be great. Is there any other, we want to open this resolution at the request of the sponsors for co-sponsorship, the usual procedure to be involved. Anyone not wishing to be on the resolution, notify the chair. Mr. President, is there any more business before the House?
Senator Marcelino, there is no further business at the desk.
Then I move that we adjourn until Monday, March 2nd at 3 p.m., intervening days being legislative days.
On motion, the Senate stands adjourned until Monday, March 2nd at 3 p.m., intervening days being legislative days.